Hey guys, thank you for tuning in for this very special episode, the first episode of Cooking with EpicBeerDude, where I put together some recipes and teach you guys how to cook. Today on the menu is a dish called Kimchi Fried Rice, and if you're not Asian, don't worry about it. Don't be too scared of it. It's not going to be the typical dank, fermented, kind of sour bitterness that you expect when you think of kimchi. It's just going to add some really robust, kind of all-around flavors and spice. And a little bit of kick. So let's get started with the ingredients. It is kimchi fried rice. So first you need rice. Any short grain rice will do. I prefer cow roast brand. 3 cups of short grain rice. 1 onion. We're going to need 4 cloves of garlic. 1 bunch of green onions. Pepper. Salt and pepper. Okay? Fresh grind if you want. Whatever you like. Some extra virgin olive oil for cooking. You can go to the Asian store or the Asian section in your supermarket. Find some luncheon meat. If you can't find any luncheon meat, get some Spam. Just make sure the luncheon meat isn't made in China. I don't know, man. Pesticides and stuff. Chili oil. Sesame oil. And then there's hot chilies in oil. It looks like this. Some of them come in a bigger jar. Some soy sauce. Chinese sausage, you'll definitely have to go to an Asian store. And then, of course, kimchi. You don't have to get a big thing like this. But they come in smaller 30-ounce containers, and you only need about 20 ounces of it. And then we're going to do a lot of volume, so get yourself a big wok or a big pan, something to be able to cook all the volume in, okay? First order of business, prep your ingredients. You want to slice up the green onions, the garlic, and your white onion. You're going to want 4 large cloves of garlic. Go ahead and put the garlic in a separate container. 1 large onion. I have really sensitive eyes, so every time I cut onions, no matter how small or big they are, I always cry. Ugh. I hate cutting onions. Go ahead and put your onions in a separate bowl as well. And if you have dogs in the house, be very careful what you drop on the floor. Onions and garlic can make dogs anemic and cause other very serious ailments. So careful what you drop on the floor. Start off by cutting your luncheon meat in maybe 7 or 8 slices. Then take a couple of slices at a time and cube them up. Yay-sized cubes are good. Put these guys in a separate bowl as well. Alright, the Chinese sausage. So the package came with 9 sausages, so I'm just going to use 5 of them and cut them in, you know, pretty good, kind of that thickness. And the last order of preparation is your kimchi. I like this brand because it's not too I guess Asian tasting. It's not too strong of a kimchi, so it's really nice and mild. Alright, so the way I like to do the kimchi is basically I take them out and I put them like in little stacks, and I'm basically just going to cut them into strips. But kind of basic concept is basically you're making strips out of the kimchi, okay? Alright guys, so the kimchi's prepped. Any juices that are on the cutting board, make sure you get those into your bowl. Don't waste that. That's where all the flavor is. If you want to know how much I probably used a little less than half of this big 60-ounce jar. If you get a 30-ounce, I use about a little over 3/4 of the jar. And then what I do is I actually take some of the juice from the jar and I pour it in. I don't know if I can... Yeah, there it goes. And I pour some of the juice in because that's what we're going to use to get the rice its red color. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on our equipment list, but you do need a big, gigantic bowl. Alright, our 3 cups of rice is done. We're going to go ahead and take this rice, put it into this bowl. Okay, our 3 cups of rice is in the pot. We're going to start our seasoning. We're going to take some chili oil. Alright. Good amount of chili oil in there. Nice and happy. sesame seed oil, okay? Get that nice and happy. Soy sauce, don't put a lot of this, just a dash, okay? That's good enough. And salt and pepper, I don't need to really show you that. Actually, let me show you the pepper, because I do put a decent amount of pepper in it. Okay, mix it all around. Okay, I like to clean as I go, so I took a little time and put everything away. I put the leftover Chinese sausage in a saran wrap and just put it back in the fridge. So here's all of your prepped ingredients. Make sure you do the kimchi last, because that's what gets your cutting board all nasty and juicy. And then it's time to fire it up. Alright, let your pan get nice and hot. No oil, okay? And take your Chinese sausage, stick them in the pan, and cook them to about medium. These sausages cook really fast. I've only had them on the burner for about a minute. I actually had to turn the heat back down to about medium. I wanted to get them crisp without burning them. And basically, once you see the oils coming out of the sausage, they're good to go. So about another 30 seconds, and they'll be done. And when you put them back in the bowl, take the sausages out, but don't take the oil out. Leave that oil in there, because we're going to use that for cooking the next step. Okay, pan's still hot, and you see all that oil from the sausages? That's why we didn't put any oil in there, because they give off so much oil, and now we get to cook our luncheon meat in that sausage oil. And what you want to do with this is just get them on a single layer. Don't mess around with them too much. Let them crisp on one side, and then turn them over and crisp the other side, and they're done. Okay, so you see that level of crispness. I'm satisfied with that. Just adds more flavor, and you get a good texture from the crispiness. Alright, the Spam's nice and happy, or the luncheon meat, whatever. The Chinese sausage is good. We've got a little more oil left in here, but here's where the olive oil comes in. We just mix some olive oil, just not too much, with the oil that's in there, and we kick that around a bit, and that's what we saute our onions with, okay? Get the onions nice and translucent. And this whole time we're cooking on this burner, it's about medium heat. It's the biggest burner on the stove, so it's about medium heat. Okay, while the onions are sauteing, take your Chinese sausage and your luncheon meat, put it in the bowl. Oops, try not to get all that oil in there, and then mix it around and incorporate it into the rice really good. Alright, I can't do it with one hand, but you know what I mean. Fold it into the rice, alright? While you're folding it into the rice, don't forget about your onions. If your onions are translucent, then it's time to add the garlic. We don't want burnt onions. So let's add the garlic in there, get that all happy. And remember, whenever you want to buy yourself some time, say you're doing this and you can't keep an immediate eye on your onions, just turn the heat down, turn the fire down. While you're doing this, I want you to get all the clumps out of the rice, okay? We don't want clumpy fried rice. We want all those clumps out. So as you're incorporating it, go ahead and, stab those clumps up if you need to. Just get all those clumps out of there. And here's the tip. If you cook your rice on the drier side, use a little less water than you would normally, then it won't be as clumpy. Alright, our onion is done, and we want to just add the kimchi. I want you to spoon it, scoop it, use chopsticks, whatever you need to do to not get the juice at the bottom. I want you to leave the juice in the bowl, but get all the kimchi into the pot. So I used a fork. I got all the kimchi into the pot, left the juice in the bowl, and just incorporate it with your onions. And now, once you do that, let it sit for about 5 minutes. It depends on how well done you want your kimchi. I like it a little bit crispy, so I'm probably going to leave it less than that. But the last order of business is the heat. Now this is where all the heat comes from. I want you to take a clean spoon and get the amount of heat that you think you can handle. I myself love spicy food, so I'm going to put a ton of it. This is like a tablespoonful. And just put it in there. I think I'm going to put a little more. I'm going to make this dish really spicy. Right here. Alright. Yeah. We're going to kick this one up a notch. Bam! Alright, that may be way too much for any of you guys out there. But if you really like spicy, go ahead and do it this way. Now get all that chili mixed up in there through the whole product, and then let it sit again for just a minute. Now, if you are curious at all about the spice level that this is going to give, make sure you just add a little bit at a time and then keep tasting it until you get your desired spice level. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take any out. I apologize if you guys aren't getting the best angles, but my iPhone is sitting on top of that bag of rice. So now we incorporate the rice and meat mix into the bowl, and our job is to get all of the kimchi, the onions, the garlic, and all the juices and flavors into the rice. So while you're doing this, you want to get the clumps out, okay? And we got to turn the dish red, so we put the kimchi juice into the rice. The reason why we wait is because we want to pour the kimchi juice on top of the rice so it turns the rice red. It turns it a lot redder than it would if we poured it out during the saute process and let it evaporate. Okay? So just get this nice and happy, and once you're done, once it's all incorporated, once it fries a little bit, I say not more than about 5 minutes in the pan. Take it all out, put it back in the bowl, alright? Take your green onions, put them in your bowl. Take most of them. Leave just a little bit if you want some garnish. And mix the green onions up for color. Okay, so there's the final product, our kimchi fried rice. Now the way you serve this is a little different, so I'm going to show you what to do. Get yourself a small fry pan. This is a big fry pan, but you don't need a big fry pan. Put a little bit of olive oil in it. Okay. Get in there, get your pan hot. 2 extra large eggs in the pan. Medium to medium low heat. Remember, you just cook eggs really low, okay? Put rice in a little bowl. Take that little bowl, turn it upside down on the middle of your plate. You got a little dome. Take your dome, flatten it out for your eggs. Okay, so you want these eggs to be able to drip, so just turn them over real quick, cook them for another 10-20 seconds, and then get them on your bed of rice, alright? Yeah. Awesome. Little pepper on there. A little bit of that leftover green onion. There you have it, folks. Kimchi fried rice. Best way to do this is just to pop that yolk, let it soak into the rice, and get the flavors of the yolk and all the meat and the egg all at the same time. Fantastic dish. I hope you guys like it. Feel free to leave me any questions or comments, and I'll help you out. Bye-bye.